So students, today we are going to start with the concept of mechanism of breathing. Mechanism of breathing means how exactly the inspiration and expiration, or breathing in or breathing out, otherwise inhalation and exhalation takes place. First of all, we need to remember that the rate of breathing is variable from according to the age we fall into. So when a newly born child is there, the rate of breathing is 40 to 60 times per minute at the resting situation. That means if the newborn is actively moving, in that case the breathing rate will be even higher than this. In the case of children, it is 18 to 22 times per minute at rest, and in your age of adolescence, the rate of breathing is 14 to 18 times per minute at rest, and in the age of adulthood, the rate of breathing is 12 to 14 times per minute at rest. So that means the rate of breathing decreases from the point of birth up to the point of the adulthood, and finally one day with the death, the breathing is supposed to come to an end. Now there are two steps involved in the breathing: inspiration, also called as inhalation or breathing in, and the second step is called as expiration or exhalation or breathing out. So if you remember, in the last class I only showed you some diagram of the NCERT, and I stated that we will continue this topic in the next class. So today we are going to understand the concept of how this cavity enlarges in size, because when this cavity volume becomes more, then the pressure would automatically decrease. And in the geography also, and in physics, we have a very simple concept that air always moves from high pressure area to the low pressure area. So if this cavity, thoracic cavity or chest cavity size could be increased somehow, then definitely the pressure inside the lungs, that means intrapulmonary pressure, would decrease, and this decrease in the pressure will automatically cause the air from outside to move inside through the nasal passage. So let's understand now how it happens. So the first step is inspiration, and during this step the fresh air is brought inside the thoracic cavity, and then this process is an active process. Remember that during inspiration there are two muscles are involved at the point of rest. So when we are resting, we involve only two muscles for inhalation of the air, and those two muscles undergo contraction. We all know contraction of the muscles is an active process, so ATP is consumed or energy is consumed, and that's why it is called as an active process. Now at rest, only two muscles are involved in inspiration or inhalation or breathing in, and those two muscles are phrenic muscle, which are also called as the muscles of diaphragm. We all know what exactly is diaphragm, because even in the 10th class you have drawn the diagram. So this muscle present here, or this structure present here, dome shaped, which separates the thoracic cavity from the abdominal cavity. Below, we all know there is digestive tract present here, or main portion of digestive system is present here. So diaphragm acts like a partition between thoracic cavity and the digestive main portions like stomach, liver and all are situated here. Intestines are situated here. So this diaphragm muscle is dome shape, or you can say is convex. But the moment we start in inspiration or inhalation, this muscle starts undergoing contraction, and the contraction of this muscle will change its shape from convex to straight. So the initial condition of the muscle is it is convex and dome shape. Now when these muscles undergo contraction, this contraction will make it become straight. That means instead of becoming dome shape, it will become straight muscle. Now you can easily see here, initially the size of the thoracic cavity is this much. Now the size has increased. So this is the extra area which has now, the extra volume which now has been created, and this has happened because a long muscle, this muscle has undergone contraction. So contraction will cause this muscle to become straight. Now the next muscle involved is the external intercostal muscle. In the last class also I told you that if you consider ribs, the word actually inter means in between, costa means ribs. So in between the ribs of the same side, if you consider these as two ribs of the same side, then there are muscles present towards the outside of the rib cage as well as inside. So when the external intercostal muscles undergo contraction, they will pull the rib cage towards the outside as well as up. So there are two things happening here. The phrenic muscles undergo contraction, which will change their shape from convex to the straight shape, and because of which enlargement of the thoracic cavity takes place in vertical direction. And the external intercostal muscles, well, they undergo contraction, they also enlarge the thoracic cavity, because of this muscles movement, ribs will move upward as well as outward. So there is going to be vertical direction enlargement here. Now in this case, anterior posterior direction enlargement will take place. So overall the size of the thoracic cavity will increase. Please remember, during this concept there is relaxed situation of internal intercostal muscle as well as the abdominal muscle. So these muscles do not play any role when we are breathing in at the point of rest. So now, because of all these activity, thoracic cavity size has increased. An increase in the size of the thoracic volume will decrease the pressure inside. So air automatically is sucked from outside to inside to equalize the pressure inside the lungs, which is called as the intrapulmonary pressure. I read from the NCERT also last time.